Hello and welcome to Code with Utpal. In this video, we are going to install Alfresco Content Services 26.1 using zip method. So basically, we are going to download Alfresco distribution zip file and then we'll install components one by one. So in order to install this particular component, we need some basic setup. The first thing we need is Java. I'm going to use Java 25, but you can use Java 21 or later versions. Application server, we are going to use Apache Tomcat. We are going to use database PostgreSQL and message broker ActiveMQ. So here, first thing is I'm going to download all these components one by one, and then we'll go to setup part of it. Here I got some links, URLs that you can use to download the Java Tomcat directly from the URL, or you can go to their website and then take the versions that you want to use. This is not hard and fast that you have to use these particular URLs, but i- to make it easier, I'm sharing these links so that you can just use it for your purpose, and this will make things faster. Now I already downloaded all that components that I need. So I downloaded Java 21, Apache ActiveMQ 625, Alfresco Content Services Community Distribution 26.1.0.zip, and I need PostgreSQL. So basically, these things I already downloaded and I extracted them in these Alfresco install folder. You can do it in whichever location you want to keep it. That doesn't have any problem. You can use four different places in your file system. It should work. It should not be a problem. Now let's go to command prompt and then we'll set up the required environment variables and then we will run from there. So I have set Java home to my Java home location, and then I want to start, yeah, the Tomcat from here. But before I start Tomcat, I want to keep the Alfresco distribution files or war files that uh, in the Apache Tomcat web apps folder. So let's do one by one. So let's say we whether a Tomcat is running or not. So if I start it, yeah. So Tomcat is getting started. So we are good on this. Now I need to see what version of Java I'm using. Yeah, I'm using 25. Then I want to start ActiveMQ. So I go to ActiveMQ folder. So I'm setting up the Java home and then I'm changing the path variable also to point to the same Java instance. If you are done with this already, so you can skip this part. You can go to the section where I'm actually taking the alfresco war files. So you can follow that also. So if you are done with alfresco, apply the Java installation and then ActiveMQ starting and all this stuff, if you are already done with it, then no need to do this again. This is getting started. So I may skip all a few steps that where I'm waiting for the logs to come up, and then maybe I will skip those. So you may not see all scrolling logs. So Apache Tomcat has got started, and you can see the. So if you go to this URL, you should be able to see the admin's console. So if I go there and so port number 8161, they are actually, and then default username and password will be admin. So now this is the admin console of the Apache ActiveMQ. Now what I need next, I need database. So let's go and check the database part of it. So you can download using this particular URL, and then once it is done downloaded, you can extract it to the location wherever you want. I did it inside this location, and then I have to start with initdb command. If I run initdb, so database will be initiated, and then I can start database with this command. So I already created init. I already ran this command initdb. Now I want to start my PostGres and check. So this pgctl command will be available in at this location. But if you set this path, then you can run it from anywhere. I did not do the I did not set this in my path variable, so I'm running it from here. The server started. Now if I want to check, so this is something you may see little bit different because you may have to set the user and password for the user Postgres, but I already did it. So for me, it will work smooth. So this is now I am in the Postgres database console. Now I can create this. If I run this command, it will be created user with password this admin password, and then I want to use alfresco user for in order to run alfresco. I need alfresco user and alfresco password. So I'm giving everything as alfresco for now. Definitely, this is not going to be the production setup. So after all this, after running all these commands, now I'm ready with the my database setup also. So ActiveMQ is running. Now I got alfresco 26.1. Let's unzip it, and then I'm going to take the war files. But before I take these war files, I have to do one thing. This is very important part. Otherwise, you may see things not working as expected. You have to update the Catalina properties file, and you have to modify the shared.loader property. If you don't have this property set, alfresco will not come up. So this part is very important. So if you go and check that Tomcat on Catalina properties, you can check that shared loader. This part is required because this will make things available in the class path. Otherwise, this will not be loaded, and so alfresco basically it will not come up. So this, don't forget this setup. Now, after doing this change in the alfresco, not alfresco, this is Apache Tomcat property, Catalina properties. Once you are done with this setup, then if you take the alfresco distribution, this is the one configuration you have to do. Next is alfresco. So I extracted alfresco 26.1 under this folder. So after extraction, I will get all these files. These are all out of the box distribution files and folders. Now I want to take keystore. From here, I want to keep it under alfresco install alf data, or I can keep it in here also. So this location, wherever you want to keep the key stores. So this is important information. This is very important information. If your key store is not available, then also alfresco will not come up. So this is one important component. Then if you see here, you can take rest of the things you can keep in here because you will not use this bin folder or amps not very often. So it is one amp file given here. I will discuss about it once we are done with the installation. So this is not important at this moment. Mainly we will take alfresco. This is the web server. So basically it is trying to say that whatever your web server is, these components will go there. So I can take leave. So this is PostGres SQL driver. We need this, and we can take it to Tomcat lib. So from distribution web server lib, I'll take it to Tomcat, Apache Tomcat lib folder. So it is, there are many other files, but I added Postgres SQL driver. So this one is here. Then I go to distribution web server shared folder. So by default, Alfresco Tomcat does not have shared folder. So you can take this as is, and then you can copy it and paste there. So I took it, I put it in the shared here. Then I go to web apps folder. Conf, I don't need this at this moment. I'm not taking this. We'll discuss this later. This is not important for your initial setup. So under web apps, we get 4 WAR files out of the box. Alfresco. So I'm first we have to see if Alfresco is running or not. So share you can do later. I take these 3 and we go to, we take these 3 WAR files and keep it in the, let me stop. Okay, so I already stopped. So let us go there to, so basically I'm doing this. You can run copy command if you are good at Windows copy commands. You can do that, or in Linux we generally do all CLI commands. But here I'm going through the graphic GUI. It is up to your convenience. So you can follow the way you want to. So anyways, I'm copying those 4 folders here. I'm taking out. Yeah. So in your production setup, you may remove all other unwanted folders also. But I'm just keeping those. I need only these three files from the distribution. This is done. Now, one important thing we have to do, we have to give the database all that information to the Alfresco application. The Alfresco application wants to use all these property files. So when you take the shared folder from the distribution, if you go to distribution, you can see you have web server, under that you have shared. So we have taken this shared folder already. Now if I go to shared classes folder, you'll see there alfresco folder, and we have alfresco-global.properties.sample file. This sample file, we'll rename it, or you can copy it as alfresco-global.properties file. Now alfresco uses this file for most of the common properties. So now if we open this file, you can see we have, this is, you have to configure this dir root and then keystore information. So this keystore information can be given in two ways. One is through these properties: encryption keystore type, encryption cipher algorithm, key algorithm, keystore location, keystore metadata location. This is one way of doing it. Another way is you can set up the setenv file. So you can pass these two, but you have to do this. You have to supply this in order to alfresco to boot up. Without this, alfresco will not boot up. So now we are done with the alfresco global files, alfresco global properties. Don't think about this at this moment. We'll discuss this about later. But this is important in order to bring up the alfresco or boot up the alfresco site. So that alfresco war file uses this. If you are done with it, so what are the things we did? We downloaded Java and then set up the Java path. Then we installed Tomcat. I'm running out of binary, but you can use installer also, but you need alfresco location and all this. Then modify alfresco, sorry, Apache Tomcat property, Catalina properties file, and then added this shared loader property. Then installed PostGres, and then set up the database, created user role, this step. Then we have downloaded ActiveMQ, and then we started ActiveMQ. And then finally, we got alfresco distribution, 26 distribution. After extraction, we got shared folder, we got keystore folder, and then we configured, so we saved alfresco global.properties.sample file to alfresco global.properties file, and modified alfresco global properties with these parameters: dir root, encryption. So dir root and all, you can decide where it is. Then keystore information, you can do in both ways, either by passing these parameters in alfresco global properties, or by sending the same information through Java ops setenv file. If it is Windows, you have to modify setenv.bat file, or if you are on Linux or Mac, you can modify setenv.sh file. After these steps, you should be able to run your alfresco without any issues. So let us start Tomcat and see how it goes. So I start Tomcat. Yes. So if you see, Tomcat has been started, and now you can test if alfresco is running or not. So if you go and check alfresco, yes, so alfresco is running. And it is showing you what version you are running and everything. So basically, it is working fine. Here you can see very few options because we are using community version. So if you use the enterprise version, you will see more options here to configure and all. But community version, at least you can test the main features of alfresco without any issues. It should work for you. So this is done. Now what you can do, this is, we call it repository site. So alfresco is now up and running, but we definitely need to use it. You need user interface. So basically, you can take either, you can create your own user interface to connect to alfresco, or alfresco also supplies out of the box share application, which is the front end of the alfresco application. So we can definitely try to use that. Now I go and install that. So let us stop Tomcat, and then I take from web server distribution, web apps, I take share, and I put it in web apps, and start Tomcat again. Yes. Now alfresco and share, both the applications are up and running. We can test it. Alfresco we already tested, it is working. Now I want to see whether my share application is working or not. So I'm using all default users, admin. You can later you can set it up. So other credentials, those things are not part of this tutorial. So alfresco, now I am connected to alfresco using share application. So share is talking to alfresco and then showing all that features that I want to use. So that's it. So this is working fine. Now what is remaining? We have to do one more thing, is to use this So I am going to create another video to walk you through how we use it, how share application, how we navigate through the application. Hope this will help you. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, feel free to ping me in the comment section. I will try to reply to you. I will try to solve your problem. Hopefully, this is little longer and explanatory. If you find it difficult, let me know. I will try to solve the problem that you are facing. Please subscribe to this channel. I will try to update with the newer versions, newer features of Alfresco. Yeah, that's it for now. Subscribe to this channel. Share it with your friends who wants to use Alfresco or want to know about Alfresco. Hope that will be helpful to them. Yeah, thanks for watching again once again. Bye for now. Thank you.